Hey guys, this is Vic from Plate.to.paper. In this watercolor tutorial, we'll be painting a Panda Matcha Latte. This exercise and the materials I'll be referencing come from the first edition Watercolour Art Kit that I released with Mossery, and the link is in the description if you want to check it out. Let's start with the color mixes. For the base matcha color, I'm using permanent yellow and Viridian. Going darker, I've added more Viridian with a touch of burnt sienna. For the darkest green, I've added neutral tint and more burnt sienna. For the mug and the saucer, a purple mix using ultramarine and opera pink. Diluted for the first wash. Going darker, I've added neutral tint and increased the concentration of ultramarine and pink. For the rims, I'm starting with yellow ochre. Going darker, I've added a touch of burnt sienna. For the darkest values, I've added neutral tint and more ochre and burnt sienna. So now we have all the base colours, so we can start painting. First, I use my watercolour pencil to draw the details of the panda and the leaves. Then I dispense some masking fluid onto a piece of paper and apply it to the eyes using a skewer. While the fluid dries, I apply my first green mix to the drink surface. Then with a loaded brush, I apply my purple mix to the mug. You could start with a clean water wash before applying paint, but I decided to apply the paint directly, working quickly to cover the area. I apply more paint to the area that I know will be a little darker. We'll wait about 5 minutes for this to dry before applying the next colour. Once the first purple layer is touch dry, I apply yellow ochre to the rim of the cup and the saucer. I've left some streaks of white unpainted for highlights. I've also added burnt sienna to the mix and applied it to darker areas, keeping in mind that the rim is a rounded surface. I'm brushing some white into the panda face to tone it down a little because I want to reserve the brightest parts of the piece for specular highlights. With my darker green, I fill in the leaves and facial details. If you're having trouble getting a sharp point, use a drier brush, or shape your brush by making a few strokes on a scrap piece of paper. This will take off excess liquid and align the brush hairs for a thinner line. I've used my watercolour pencil to mark out the step in the saucer. Then I apply a clean water wash to the area, avoiding the line I just made. Now I apply the purple base mix, again avoiding the step line. As the section starts to dry, I apply the darker purple mix to the areas in shadow and add definition to the mug shape. Here, I apply my darkest ochre mix to the rim. And you can see I've broken the lines I left unpainted to make more specular highlights. The rims are a rounded surface, so I'm applying the darker colours with this in mind. Back to the mug and the saucer. I've painted over my line with a light wash and continue adding definition to the forms. I think if there's one takeaway from this tutorial, it's the importance of letting layers dry thoroughly between glazes. If you apply a glaze on a layer that hasn't fully dried, you risk agitating the pigment on the first layer. This means you won't get two distinct layers of pigment, and you could end up with the result that was unintended. So patience is really key here. I'm going over the matcha again, just because I want a little bit more contrast. Now, I'm using my lighter green and lightly stippling over some of the borders here. This really helps to bring out the foamy quality of the latte art. From here, I'll be working on the values for the various parts. Overall, this is a pretty simple piece, but it does require a little bit more patience in waiting for the layers to dry. I'm rubbing off the masking fluid from the eyes and using a thick white, adding more little highlights to the rims. Details like these really help to make the piece look a lot more lively. So we're on the final stretch now. Since this piece does not have strong outlines and the saucer and mug are the same colours, I'm spending a lot of time to increase the contrast so each part can stand out on their own. And we're done! Our Panda Matcha Latte is complete. It's a fun piece that requires a little patience, but the end result is definitely worth it. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye!